Hey everybody, Chris Remmes from Coldwell Banker in Boston. Thanks for joining me for my latest version of my video blog. Today I want to bring you the latest market update and the latest what's going on in the market. So now that we've finished the summer and August is over and we've moved into spring, I think it's very important for us to go back and talk about, what happened in the market and what went on, particularly in August. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've pulled up all the statistics for what we, the real estate agents and brokers, call the core Boston market. So we can understand what's going on, in the Boston metro area and the core Boston market in particular. The core Boston market is basically downtown Boston, including South Boston and Charlestown. So what we're seeing right now in the core Boston market is we're seeing as a lot of more of what I've talked about, and that's a lot more of the market getting normal. So, and what does that mean? That just means that we're seeing ever so slightly more inventory, and we're seeing things not kind of going quite so crazy or going quite so fast. Yes, we're still seeing bidding wars, but we're not seeing bidding wars with the energy or the ferocity that we've seen them in the past. We're not seeing 6, 7, 8 offers at a time. We're probably seeing 2, 3, maybe 4 at the most. Interspersed in here with the market is there's a lot going on with the economy as well, which I've talked about in other videos. People will frequently confuse the real estate market with the stock market with the economy, and it's just very important that we separate those three and we know what is what. So what we're going to talk about first is we're going to talk about how are the listings, how's the inventory? That's the first thing we look at. So what we're seeing in the core Boston market, and once again, that's all of downtown Boston, including including South Boston and Charlestown. So what we're seeing is the inventory rising up slightly. So last year, at the last day of August 2018, we had 624 condo listings on the market. That same time in 2019, we had 833. So that's a rise of about 33%. So we have more inventory on the market, which is a good news if you're a buyer. If it's a seller, it can kind of be a mixed blessing. If you've got a nice listing in a nice location, you're always still going to do really well. But it's also important to know that the listing inventory is still historically low, and it's not really going to change significantly anytime soon. It's really creeping up over time. So the other thing, after we look at the inventory, when I talk particularly with sellers, after we talk about the inventory, the next thing that's important to talk about are the days on the market and the days to offer. So days on the market, once again, is kind of going up slightly, but in the broader Boston market, we're up from 85 days on the market to 90 days on the market. It's an increase of about 6%. So really what that means is that prices, that's a reflection of the bidding wars that I talked about that really aren't kind of happening with the veracity that they've happened in the past. Another key metric that real estate agents like to talk about, the absorption rate. All absorption rate is, it's a fancy name for how quickly things are moving in the market. So that's the one number that's going down. We see a lot of other things going up. We see inventory going up. We see days in the market going up, but we see absorption rate coming down. So absorption rate is a function of how fast, how many units is selling per month and how many units are coming on. So right now we're seeing more units coming on than going off the market, so we're seeing less absorbed, so the absorption rate is going down. But only at about 30%, but once again, we're at such historic lows right now, it's not going to make a huge difference. The next thing we should really talk about is the inventory. This time last year, we had a little over a month's supply of inventory for just condos I'm talking about today, but at the same time this year, we had a little over 2 months worth of inventory. So after we talk about the inventory and the supply, we're actually going to talk about listings that have actually come on, listings that have actually been taken and come on the market. We're seeing that increase. It's been up, and like I said, we're talking right now about the core Boston market. That's up about 5%. Not a big number, but like I said, it's good to know that we're just trending up. The other thing that's interesting to note is that how quickly things are going pending, and things are not going pending as quickly as they used to be. For the month of August last year, we had about 3,500 units go pending. This year, we had a little under that number go pending. So things are just taking a little bit longer to go under agreement. So the other very important number, and this is something that I talk about when I sit down with the sellers, is the days to the offer. So sometimes, a seller will say to me, Chris, I've been on the market for a week. How come I don't have any offers? When we have this, the market becoming more normal, for the Boston market in 2018, days to the offer, it took about 28 days or about three to 4 weeks. Now we're just over the 4-week period. So you just need to have your expectations set. You need to understand, what we see going on in the market these days. So the other important number that we have is the list price to the list price to sales price. So the list price to sales price in 2018 was about 102%, which meant that on average, things were going over the asking price. Now that's just a little under 100%. We're at about 99%. So that means that a lot of units aren't going over the asking price. So if you're a seller, that means it's really important now more than ever to price your home right. As I was going through the statistics in the different neighborhoods, I like to have a good knowledge of all the different neighborhoods. I work with people all over the city. I grew up in Boston, and then when I was sitting down talking with the seller last week, I noticed, wow, here in Charlestown, it looks like things are kind of running contrary to the rest of the city of Boston, which is very interesting. So in Charlestown, the listings, the inventory is not going up. The inventory is down by 5%, and it's historically low anyway. The days on market is going down. Everything's going the opposite direction, except for the absorption rate, and that's just because things aren't quite happening as quick over here. So as I said before, it's very important to know what's happening in the broad market, and then it's also very important to know what's happening in each neighborhood. If you're a buyer, you're probably not just going to be looking in the Back Bay or the South End. You're probably looking all over the place. So it's important that you and your agent understand what's happening in each neighborhood, or what we might call in the real estate industry a micro market, which is a market within a market. So I hope you found this helpful. Like I said, I think the important big lesson to take away from this is that the market is becoming more normal. But even now, with interest rates, as I've talked about before, becoming at historic lows, down about a point in the last 8 months. If you're a buyer, it's a great time to get out there. Your purchasing price is increasing. And if you're a seller, the fall market's always a good time to sell because there's less competition. So it's a great way, if you have a nice property in a nice location and you've presented it well, you're going to do okay. Well, as always, this is Chris Remmes with my video blog. I so enjoy these, and I so enjoy your comments and your feedback. Feel free to leave any comments you want in the comment section below. Or as always, you can reach out to me at 617-947-9337. Have a great day. Thank you.